The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to his name. And even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. Welcome back to our study in Psalm 23. This is study number 4, week 4. So today we're going to be looking at verse 4. It says, even when I walk through the darkest valley, or the valley of the shadow of death. Have you ever been there? I know I've been there a few times in my life, and that time where it just seems so dark, when everything around you just seems bad. Things are not going well. And whatever the situation, whatever is happening, you can kind of feel this haze of darkness and death. And that's what David is talking about here, is this valley that he's going through, this very difficult time that he's going through. It says, even when I walk through the darkest valley, this valley of the shadow of death. It says, I will not be afraid. Why? For you are close beside me. Let's look back at John chapter 10. We've talked about the fact that John chapter 10, or in John chapter 10, Jesus is taking this imagery of the Good Shepherd and he's applying it to himself. And in John chapter 10, starting verse 11, it says, I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd sacrifices his life for the sheep. A hired hand will run when it sees a wolf coming. He will abandon the sheep because they don't belong to him, and he isn't their shepherd. And so the wolf attacks and scatters the flock. The hired hand runs away because he's working only for the money and doesn't really care about the sheep. I am the Good Shepherd. I know my own, and they know me. Just as my Father knows me, and I know the Father, so I sacrifice my life for the sheep. When the really difficult times in life come, all those other voices that we've been talking about that creep in, all those other voices, whether they're from within or whether they're from without, all the things that are distracting us and keeping us from keeping our eyes on Jesus, our Good Shepherd, all of those other things. When the really difficult times come, all those other things are going to disappoint us. They're all going to let us down. The Good Shepherd will never let you down. The Good Shepherd will never leave you. When everything else abandons you, the Good Shepherd will never leave you. He will never forsake you. Even when I walk, or even when you walk, through the darkest valleys, that valley of the shadow of death, says, I will not be afraid. For you are close beside me. You have not forsaken me. You have not turned your back on me. You are walking through this valley with me. This is your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. The rod was a bat-like tool that the shepherds would carry with them, and it was used for protection. It was used to defend the flock from attackers, a wolf or something along those lines. The staff was that large hook thing that you would normally associate with the shepherd. We have all seen it in pictures or drawings, paintings. That long shepherd hook. Okay. The rod was used for defending. That hook was used for guiding. So here's the picture that David wants his readers to see. God is our loving shepherd. And even when life gets tough and the future looks bleak, he has promised we will never walk this valley alone. Again, when everything else might forsake us, when everything else might turn their backs on us, and everything else might turn and run, our good shepherd has promised he will be with us every step of the way. To the point where he was willing to suffer and die upon a cross. He was willing to sacrifice his own life in order to be with us, to have that relationship with us, in order for him to be with us every step of the way. So let's remember, if we're going through a difficult time, and maybe we're going through a difficult time now, I think we're all going through at least to some degree, a valley experience, and we're all going through this valley experience together. But let's remember, he will be with us. He will protect us. He will comfort us. And he will guide us. Let's fix our eyes on our good shepherd. Allow him to lead us through this valley that we're going through. Till next week, take care, guys.